me show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Alright, so, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey, good morning. It is Monday morning. I love Monday mornings. Hey, it's actually cool.
It is outrageous. It was actually freezing all weekend, but
No, it wasn't freezing.
it was if you were outside for a 4-day show.
I was outside.
For a 4-day show,
Not for a 4-day show.
10 hours a day, that was definitely no fun.
I literally thought today, yeah, it was, today is supposed to be, well, the sun's actually finally out.
Yeah.
2 days of, I don't find this cold myself. This is cool.
Yeah. No, this is nice out right now. Yeah. Very, very
Right.
good. But that's really not what this program is.
Okay, so we're going to fix your mic here in a second. He's on his way out. So we've got a lot to talk about today, and I think we're going to spend some time on talking about a huge problem. I think and they're trying in Instagram, Facebook. And I think Twitter might be jumping on it too. They're gonna start hiding. They're gonna start working on hiding the likes, so we're not all trying to live up to everybody else's world. Psychologically, I guess this has been a major problem because of people getting depressed and people not trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to do all this stuff because it's just not a good thing. So that's one of the things we're also going to talk about. Do you know John Legere reportedly won't become WeWork's next CEO, which is T-Mobile. Something else we're going to talk about we're going to kind of jump on is who's got the best headphones? I have asked this question the other day because there has been a commercial out there where this kid's walking through an alleyway and he's putting this Bose and it actually talks to Alexa, which my headphones do that automatically already anyway because I am with Siri. Siri talks to me all the time. Just saying. And I hear that Microsoft, again, we get a lot of our stuff from The Verge, and I'm trying to kill time over here because they're trying to work on Anthony's headset. But Microsoft is going to kill off Cortana app for the iOS and Android in January on your phone. So if you've been relying on that, guess what? It's going to go away. We'll jump on a little bit, if we can, about the Supreme Court will hear Google and Oracle's nearly decade-long copyright fight, which is just been going on, and to me it's like it's a non-fair use of Java's API through Google. So let's see what else we're going to jump onto. By the way, Apple could be forced to let Apple Pay competitors access the NVC under German law, which to us is not a big deal. But and Google scrapped the publication of 100,000 chest X-rays due to last-minute privacy problems. Go figure. How about that?
HIPAA's a minor.
That damn HIPAA. Damn HIPAA. Screwing everything up for everybody.
Well, if there's any kind of identifying information in it, then yeah, I really don't want my chest X-ray out there. And so is that what those 100,000 are? There's actually someone happens to have an exact configuration of a pacemaker and this, and so it becomes obvious to certain people who that is.
Right.
So now you're violating privacy laws.
Right.
So I'm like matza on that one. If people need them for research, then they need them for research, and that's what they get. But just to have them up on the internet for people to plug and play and go, hey, look, you've got this disease. That's not cool.
Which it blows my mind that Google has access to all of this information because they're using I don't even understand how they even got hold of all this stuff.
Well, if it's posted up to certain websites
And their cloud and their AI tools.
yeah. If it's up there and they've got a privacy agreement that allows it, then they allow it.
Oh.
And the problem is you got to read the fine print in the privacy agreements.
Our stuff is just not safe.
Ever. Because of the privacy agreements. You know that is the high price of free stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think about that. You know, when you're signing on, nothing gets me more than these people who put out these little, notes saying that, I hereby, withdraw my permission for Facebook to use anything,
Yeah, that
any of my
doesn't work.
images and everything. I mean, and it's complete
Good
crap
luck with
because
that.
because the next time you post, you're giving it back to them again,
Right.
because that's what their agreement actually says. If you post here, you're giving us the right, and so even by posting that thing, you're giving them the right. It's like, nah. But people don't think that
Yeah,
far
you
down,
need to
down
go
the legal
read-
rabbit hole.
I would really like everybody just to stop and go read the terms of services that you agree to on Facebook, Google, Gmail, all the Google stuff, LinkedIn, Twitter. You own nothing.
And, well, I mean, beyond that, it's also almost an impossible task, because those documents are so long that by the time you finish reading it, it's already been amended.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Exactly.
Yeah, you have 40,000 pages there.
So are we good on the microphone now?
I
we
don't
good
know. You'll
back
have
here?
to talk to the microphone
excellent.
guy.
All right,
I mean,
we can
it
move
feels
on.
fine
then.
to me, but yeah.
Here's something else I saw that, and Rob will bring up. Rob will get on the stuff on the Verge for us that we're pulling this stuff is. Apple removes all vaping related apps from the App Store.
I'm not surprised. The nature of vaping is, it started off as a way to quit, and then it became a way to replace.
Yep.
And I mean, the first time I had somebody sit and vape in my car, this is back when it was first big, I'm sitting there saying, hang on a minute, are your lungs 100% perfect filters? So that what you're actually breathing out has none of the nicotine, none of anything, that I might not want to breathe in? Of course not. You may be filtering 20, 30%. And so now you've got all this secondhand stuff. But that was just the beginning.
Right.
Then we started looking at all the chemicals and all the vaping stuff that was coming from everywhere and anywhere, and God knows what was in it.
Okay.
And then...
Not that I'm for vaping.
Yep.
Okay. Not that I look, I would rather that than cigarette smoke.
Absolutely.
But the bottom line is all these people that were getting sick and stuff, that was from chemicals that weren't supposed to be in the vape pens.
Right.
So it's not like the true vaping pens were making people sick. Everybody was dying and stuff from stuff that they shouldn't be vaping.
Cheap knockoffs.
Right.
Okay, that were exploding. You had bad chemicals in cheap knockoffs of the vape liquid.
Right. And I'm here now.
And we were straying from the original purpose, which was to help people quit.
But I always had a problem with it. Not that I'm not judging either way. I don't vape. But I just find it funny Apple's done this. But the whole vaping thing is, to me, is you're breathing in liquid. Only when we were in the mother's womb were we breathing liquid.
Yeah.
Now you're putting something. So you're kind of drowning yourself.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Now, they did not say that this was taking away, that just because you're breathing, you're vaping the right material, whatever that was supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
That's still giving you the popcorn lung. The popcorn lung's not caused by the bad stuff. It's actually it's caused from the liquid going into your lungs, which you ain't supposed to be.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You're breathing water.
You're not supposed to be breathing smoke.
Because everybody
You're not
goes,
supposed to be
it's just
water.
water. Yeah, you're putting it into a dry environment.
Oh, it's supposed to be a dry environment. I mean, what is the definition of, what's that disease called? Pneumonia?
Pneumonia.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
There
about
you go.
that.
There you go.
Again, I don't want to jump on that for very
No,
long.
no,
I was
no.
just trying to kill some time there.
Yep. Consider it killed.
So, I'm not going to even talk about the German law thing. My thing I really wanted to touch on today was the whole
Likes.
social media world.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, and I know you had some stuff too, so we'll talk about this first.
We'll see how much time we have.
So Instagram and Facebook starting it, and they started it overseas first, and now they're going to start in areas in the United States testing this, where they're going to start taking away how many likes and how many views and how many hearts and all that kind of stuff, to see if that's going to work on how people are dealing with depression.
Depression.
They think it's helping drive depression because
That wouldn't surprise me.
here I am, I'm trying to keep up with Bob, right? Well, Bob has 1 million likes and I've got 10. So does that make him better than me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
So that's what I figured. Bob is better than
Yeah.
me. Just saying.
No,
and now I am depressed. And now I'm going to have to go get myself a dog.
The depression and involvement, yeah, and get off Facebook. I think the depression and the involvement are the key motivators underneath. But I also think that there's something bigger going on, because I think what they've done is they've looked back at the 2016 election again.
Why?
And I think that is what is driving some of this.
Really?
Because they were getting, fake news, fake content, fake websites, fake Facebook pages, producing stuff that then had a viral effect. The thing is, you could also get a fake viral effect started.
Right.
And way back when, you used to be able to buy likes.
Right.
Now Facebook will just sell you the likes rather than letting other people sell you the likes. It's really kind of funny. But they are Facebook approved likes, so it counts.
What's the difference?
The difference is the fake likes were all coming from farms.
Oh, no,
Offshore
I know,
farms,
yeah.
Okay, and the Facebook ones are they're basically farming what they believe are real accounts to get you likes.
Right.
And all of that's okay. But the bottom line is, when you have this lemming effect, you have a herd effect of people who want to know if an opinion is popular.
Right.
They want to know if this item is cool. They want to know what's wrong with this politician. They want to know what's wrong with this car. Where if they're thinking about buying it, they're looking about getting a new electric scooter. And they want to know what's wrong with it, because, bad news travels twice as fast as good news.
Right.
And gets twice as many clicks. And so by having this lemming effect available, I think a lot of people were gaming the lemming effect. I have posted really cool information on my Facebook page that is dedicated to a specific subject, and it will get, a couple hundred views and maybe, 40, 50 likes,
Right.
Interactions. That's really great. But then I can go out and I can put that exact same link into a specific group that is targeting this.
Right.
And now I'm getting 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 views and hundreds of reactions to the exact same post.
Right. That you couldn't
And-
get hardly any movement on.
Yeah, you couldn't get hardly any organic movement yourself, but if you moved it out into a group, and that's what they're doing. They are farming groups in order to get these reactions, and then suddenly when you go back and you look at that same organic response, now it's showing that that video has been played 7,000 times.
Right.
Now it's got street cred. And so now
Street cred, man.
So now you feel okay liking it, and I want to be cool too, so you're going to share it. And those are very simple, base, almost playground level emotions.
Right.
That we're dealing with, and they are literally trying to make sure that there's no longer a cool kids table in the
But
cafeteria.
I like the cool kids table.
Yeah, if you got to sit at it. Okay, but now we're back to your feelings, and now we've got 90% of the kids in the cafeteria are depressed because they aren't at the cool kids table, because they didn't know the stupid little tricks and the games and the foibles. And a lot of this information can be built up and advanced when it's completely non-legit.
Right.
And you see the fake news stuff that gets out there. And I've still got people on my webpage complaining, because or not on my webpage, but on my Facebook profile. They complain about an article I post from the Babylon Bee. Because it's from 2017. What's wrong with you? Don't you know this is old news?
Right.
And I'm like, don't you know this I'm sorry, but the Babylon Bee never gets old. Hello, and it's like they're thinking it's actual real news. They don't know who the Babylon Bee is, and it's amazing. Facebook is trying to respond to that stuff,
right?
But and that's where you see the links underneath. If something has been thoroughly debunked in their opinion, they will give you counter news underneath now, which it is a little troublesome to me as well, because is that really appropriate for someone who's not supposed to be a content editor, a publisher? So why are they interacting in this way? They're coming in and acting as authorities, but that's another topic entirely. No, in this case, I am kind of all in favor of them removing that as a visible indicator for the general public.
Right.
You yourself can still see it on the back end. So
it's not
I will know whether it's 400 views or 15,000 views.
So do you think it's a good thing
on the back end?
Ultimately,
I think it's going to help. It's going to help the underdogs. I think it could have some very unintended consequences for some of the more popular political opinions that are out there today.
Right.
Because it's going to apparently give equal footing to the unpopular political opinions, which is something I think they're hoping won't happen, but it could actually backfire on them in that case.
Right.
And that will be its own level of sort of weirdness when we start to see, flat earthers getting equal footing with National Geographic,
right,
or NASA,
right,
because they both appear to be as equally popular in your newsfeed. Now, what that means, though, think about this for a minute. If you're looking at something and you're seeing it's got 80,000 likes, and it's showing up in your newsfeed, you're going, oh, that makes sense.
Right, right.
And then you see something, you got to hunt for it, it's only got 15 likes. Well, that explains why I didn't see it.
And so I think the biggest, to me, the downside is if you're trying to show a potential sponsor, if you want to get your channel sponsored, right, and you want to make money from it, your sponsor can no longer see your numbers. Now, you can print the numbers out in the back and then say, here you go, this is my back end.
Yes.
Right? But I could fake that.
Oh, yeah. PDFs are easy to fake. But the other thing you can do is you can set them as there are several levels for people to have access to the back end.
I don't want anybody having access to my back end.
We're going to leave that silent for a minute.
And there we go. That was a good one.
A good time for a
I don't want
break.
anybody seeing the access to the back end of my social.
That. Yes.
Because that's private stuff. That
if you are multi-channeled,
like we have,
like WeBeam TV
15
is,
channels.
Yes. Okay. If it's any of the individual programs, then it's easy to share.
Right.
Okay. But then again, is that really something you need to be doing anyway? No. What you need to be doing is showing them one way or another, either through a conference call or because it's really hard to fake.
Right.
If you're pulling it up live.
Right.
Okay. And you're showing them, in a screen share. They may be in California, but you can screen share it and you can show them where we're at.
Exactly.
So it is and it isn't. I'm going to presume that at some point Facebook is going to come up with a way to publish verified results.
Okay.
Okay, and send them directly to people from Facebook so that they can, because you're not the only person thinking of this. I'm sure of it.
Right.
And so
we're not even sure they're going to completely do it. They're just it's these little test cases.
I honestly hope they do. Okay, but. The other point I was getting at, though, was that it'll be very easy for them to completely delist anything they don't like.
Right.
Because the only person who will know how popular it is the publisher.
Right.
And so there'll be no way to track their algorithm and go, like we're seeing right now with a lot of stuff, when they show that Google rankings are very biased. Okay, and because you're able to go in, you're able to run multiple Google rankings. What you're not able to do is go in and run a multiple pages to see, well, hang on a minute, this page has 7,000 likes and I've got 15,000 likes. How come I don't have twice as many views, okay, as this page over here? Why am I not further up the timeline when I've got et cetera, et cetera? There was what I did. on one of my pages was I noticed that certain media outlets and sources were being shadow banned by Facebook.
Oh, really?
And so what I would do is I would use the direct link from the shadow ban site, and then immediately after it, post an excerpt.
So tell people
from
what a
it.
shadow ban is.
Shadow
Because
banning.
a lot of people don't know that word.
Shadow banning, there are two sides to it. As with everything, you know, there's a light side and a dark side. When you're running a Facebook page, and you get somebody that comes on there that is kind of irrationally critical of you or your product. They might be a little bit hateful, they might have a personal grudge, they might have whatever it is. But you don't want to be in the business of shutting down free speech and banning them. You can go ahead and you can hide that person's comment. Now what happens is when you hide it, you have now shadow banned them. That means that although they go to your page and they see it and they see it's posted and it's there and they've got 5 people have liked it, have liked their comments, okay, and what they are probably not noticing is those 5 people are all on their friends list.
Right.
And it allows you to the only people that can see that are the person in question that wrote it and their friends. So to them, the world looks completely normal. But for the other, 2 billion users, that comment is completely invisible.
Right.
That is the light side of shadow banning. The dark side is when Facebook decides that a certain source should not be shown to anyone. And unless someone goes to your Facebook page, they will not see that particular comment at all. They have to go to your Facebook page and go down the timeline and find it in the newsfeed, and that's where they'll see it. And if they don't go through that incredible effort, it will never show up in their timeline, no matter how popular it is. So they're doing that with news sources now, news sources they don't like. And I have proven it by posting the content of the article with the exact same photo from the article just above the link to the article itself, the hard link that comes through. And we will get anywhere from 5 to 10 times the numbers of viewer on the second link that we get on the first one, which is real. Yes. Yeah, they're blocking 80 to 90% of the traffic from seeing it. And this is the dark side of Facebook deciding what is popular and what should be
It's
seen.
that room of people that we have to deal with now, because they have a room of people and then they have a room of AI.
Yeah.
And these are the ones choosing whether or not stuff goes through or don't go through.
Yeah, and the AI side, I'm kind of okay. I'm better with people or AI deciding. Although they're making some really stupid stuff right now, where historical corsetry, women or men who make corsets, for historical reenactment and so on, are finding themselves banned from Facebook and PayPal because they're not supposed to be selling sexual devices.
Of course it's not a sexual device.
There is a segment of society that uses them for BDSM. And they wear corsets. And so they're just all corsets are out. And it's wreaking havoc.
So you freaks have
historical
messed it up for
societies.
everybody.
Yeah.
That's why we can't have nice things.
That's why we can't have nice things. That's why we can't have nice corsets. And so the AI can be a little bit stupid about stuff like that.
So if our viewers and watchers out there want, we could probably do we'll start maybe doing a once a month course in the studio on Saturday or Sundays.
Okay.
And let's start teaching the right way to post stuff.
Yeah.
And because everybody's like, all you hear is like, oh, I'm a social media guru. Are you really? Oh, yeah, because you only post at this time. You only post this many times a day, blah, blah. No, it's way beyond that. You have to know the right way to put it in there, where to put it the right. There's a whole world of this stuff, right?
And the hard part is that it changes constantly.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I mean they're constantly updating it. So,
well, Facebook doesn't want Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. They don't want you to. They change everything constantly because they don't want anybody gaming it.
Well, that and yeah, I mean that's kind of a. I think they're actually working to improve it, okay? Because they're finding people are gaming it, and if you look at the old Google SEO or SRO as we call it, gaming machines that were out there, and not as in like playing games on them, but the way to game Google to get to be on the front page, and perhaps the best indicator was when you had backlinks. And it was so important because if your article or your post or your website was linked to by other websites, then you must be a legitimate source of information. So
Right.
they counted backlinks. Well, then people started creating thousands and millions of bogus
Backlinks.
websites
For backlinks.
in order to create backlinks. That's why to this day, if you have a blog and you don't have a good spam stopper, you will still see to this day where people are trying to post comments on your websites that are just full of backlinks.
Right.
Because it's just old software that's still running. But Google said, you know what, this is bogus and it's worthless. So they stopped counting regular backlinks, and now they're only looking at links that come from bona fide web pages. So if you have a backlink coming from the New York Times,
You're legit.
then you must be a legit website, because clearly the New York Times would have done a tiny bit of research to make sure that's
Well, it
not
is the
actually
Times.
I know. But yeah.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
All the
Sorry.
news that fits we print. Yeah, I know. Now look at that. We just got shadow banned. It's just like that. Boom, done. And so making sure that that was not a part of their algorithm anymore.
Right.
But what we have done, and in the years that I have been consulting on social media posting, I have had one steadfast rule, and every time Google has made a fine-tuning adjustment to their algorithm, it has pushed our clients higher.
Right.
Because the rules are very simple, and I'll tell you, be authentic.
Okay.
That is the number one rule. You've got to be you. You've got to talk about you and what you know and what you do. Don't stray. Don't play. Don't try to be everything to everybody,
Right.
because Google doesn't care about that. They want to send people to the information source that gives them the best information, because they know how to track if you're getting the right stuff. Because if you go to a link and you bounce out of there in 15 seconds, go back to Google and hit the next link. Congratulations, you've now been delisted.
Right.
Okay, or at least bumped way the hell down.
Right.
Because you're not actually answering the question that the person put into the Google search.
Right.
And so being absolutely dead on with your SRO and your information so that when people come to you, it is what they want, that's what you need to do. And I think all of this keeps wrapping around to what you're talking about with the Google and the Instagram, and that is being authentic is more important than being popular.
Right.
Because the gaming of the likes, the gaming of the shares, and God, they started testing if you have a business and you put in the comment section, of your post, you say,
Right.
like and share this with your friends, you're going to get basically delisted.
Really?
They're not going to put your post out there,
Well, that sucks.
because that is a post that is asking for you to game their system. So they don't want that in there, and they have started doing that. But it's like Google with their algorithms doing the same thing. They're looking at this and going, these are people that are trying to game our system by getting lots of
Right.
likes and shares. And that's not what we need.
Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna stay on the. I saw an article and I've read the article, and so I have a question for you. Have you ever heard a scatterbrained, stressed out friend mutter, "I have such ADD today"?
Never.
Yeah, really? I know.
Yeah, at least not that I can remember.
So there's
But
been
pardon me, because I have ADD today.
Exactly. So there's been a study in Seoul, Korea, as well as UCLA. And they have this thing called digital dementia. And it's really affecting the kids more than it is anything. And it's due to the fact of the overuse of cell phones and tablets and laptops and smart TVs. And it's made us dimensional. It's actually bringing on dementia. Is that amazing?
It is, but I need a drink of water.
You need a drink of water? I have a soda right here. You want it?
Sure.
Look at there.
It'll be the first time I've had soda.
Black cherry. It's good. Overuse of smartphones and game devices hampers the balanced development of the brain, right? And I'm reading this. It may seems, it seems like an easy way out to give our kids stuff, especially. Okay. They've done the study with, especially our young ones, that all of a sudden.
Oh, the infants are terrible.
2 years old. I saw this thing 2 years old.
3,
right.
That's a no-go.
Yeah. It shouldn't.
Because, you see, the way the brain develops is, face it, you come in the world as a blank slate.
Right.
And so you learn reality based on what you experience. And that's why watching parents work around the house is incredibly good for children to learn to work around the house.
Yeah.
Okay? It imprints on them. It actually shapes the gray matter in the brain.
Right.
It also works with things like spatial awareness. So if your entire reality revolves around a two-dimensional screen, you don't have, to heck with with kids having bad vision now, because they're spending 8 hours a day focused 12 inches from their face.
Yep.
The eyes aren't using their muscles. But when you're teaching kids, you have to be careful what you teach them at a younger age, because their brains only have so much learning energy every day.
Correct.
And if you pump it all into mathematics, that means that spatial awareness, social awareness, any of those areas of the brain are going to be underdeveloped at that point. So when you take a digital device, which is completely non-real, and you teach the brain that this is reality, there are several things that digital devices do that are not actually part of the real world.
Correct.
You can't walk down the street and say, hey, Google, what is the best restaurant around here? There's a restaurant I ate at last year. Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay, your own brain is supposed to be able to do that, but we are losing that ability.
Right.
Think about how much we are using our maps on our phones these days.
Yeah.
And so I use it because of two things. I fully acknowledge, I like the fact that it tells me when there's an accident and it needs to reroute me.
Right.
I don't care anything over 20 minutes, and I've got my maps turned on because it's mapping traffic for me.
Yep.
But on the other hand, I know kids, in their teens and 20s, they can't get to the grocery store.
They don't know what a map is.
Well, they don't know what a paper map is, but they don't even know how to get to the grocery store. They have their driver's licenses, and they don't know how to get there.
Can't get anywhere.
Yeah, because another thing has happened. When I was a kid in a car, I was doing this because the only thing going on was the radio.
Yeah.
I learned my neighborhood.
Yep.
I literally watch kids, and this is all they do in the car.
Yeah.
This is it.
So they're saying for kids under 5, ready for this? This is going to freak parents out. Only 1 hour. 1 hour.
Per week? Please?
Per day.
Per day.
Per day. Under 10?
Yeah.
2 hours.
So from 5 to 10, 2 hours a day, tops.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Under 18, 5 hours.
That's about where I'm at.
Right.
Yeah.
And then us adults. Now, there is a way to kind of fix this.
Okay.
Other than quitting cold turkey, right?
Right.
So it says, use your head, retrieve information from your brain organically, rather than automatically turning to Google to look up up that actress you can't remember that was in that movie and that thing and did that thing, right? Crack open a book. That's right. Read.
Yeah.
Read. Right? Learn a new language, right? Because that right there, putting you outside your comfort zone. Yep. Try to learn a new instrument.
A real one, not
monthly,
just a keyboard.
Because right. Because instruments require the use of both sides of your brain.
Yes.
thinking and motor.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yep.
And then get physical.
You know, and that last one is probably the easiest one, is put your phone down and go for a walk.
Just a walk.
And actually look around you. Listen to the sounds. Make your brain use all of its functional areas.
Exactly.
And, you know, I mean, the brain is an amazing piece of technology.
It really is.
And
It'll fix itself. Your whole body is made to
amazingly.
fix itself.
Yes. Yep.
You got to know how to make it fix itself.
And there are exercises out there for it. I know somebody had a TBI, traumatic brain injury, and one of the things that he lost was his ability to remember sequences of numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, normally, you know, there used to be a rule that, you know, you can't memorize more than 9.
Oh.
Okay? And, you know, that's kind of where you cap out. And I think that's because phone numbers were 10. But everybody could remember phone numbers, isn't that weird?
Right. It's amazing.
So, yeah. So 10 was about the max. But this guy was down in the 4 or 5 range.
Wow.
But there are therapies out there that you can do that make you practice. They actually make you practice using your brain. And when this guy was done with the therapy, he was doing 11 numbers backwards. So they'd give him a sequence, and then he could do it backwards, all 11 digits. But that's because he exercised the brain. The brain works like any other muscle in the body.
Right. You got to use it.
And you got to use it. And it's
You
the
don't
same
use it,
thing here.
You're going to lose it.
And that's why digital dementia is just the brain atrophying, because we aren't using it. I mean, it's like that one there about remember the name of the star. Okay, that was in that movie. You know, what was that
did that
movie?
thing about
what was
the
that?
thing.
What was that? Which is that quote from? You know, and so it's like, stop! Don't pick up the phone. Challenge yourself. Work on it for 6 hours if you have to. Let your brain go blank over dinner, and it'll come to you. But the fact is, stop relying on the phone for everything.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so but like when we go somewhere and I use Google Maps, before I go start, I go look at it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not faster. That's, you know, I know it takes into account of traffic.
Yeah.
But I look at it, I'm like going, okay, well, I get all that, but what if I go up this way, and then you can, you know, kind of move it around a little bit, and
Yeah.
it'll tell you, well, you know, you can go that way, but it's going to take you an extra hour. Don't, right? So I get into that. But when I saw this story, it blew my mind. I'm sitting there going, holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Our kids that are 10 years old are coming down with dementia because of screen time.
You know, and here we are talking about vaping and smoking and all that, and this is 10 times worse.
10 times worse.
Okay, because this is like, it's like watching children smoke.
Right.
And you've got to be able to stop it. That's all there is to it. You have to.
Well,
and you know, and here I am sitting here with this and this and this and this.
Yeah, I've got
going
3
off,
going right here, and I've got one over here, and I got one up there, and I got to watch. And,
and you know, we're doing all this about technology, but the fact of the matter is, you know, it's amazing how many kids don't have a concept of spatial awareness or actual physics outside of video games.
Right.
They think, and you know, I don't like to laugh at the, you know, dumb kid trying some stunt thing, you know, with a shopping cart running down the whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But all they've ever seen is this 2D world.
Yep.
And when they get out there, they don't know how to pound a nail.
Nope.
They don't know how to climb a rope. They can't do these things at all. And you've really got to take that level of responsibility for your children to give them, and you know what, maybe it's going to be unpopular because right now in today's economy, they have to be STEM.
Your kids are not going to like you.
They have to be plugged in. I don't care about the kids. I mean, I'm talking about the adults are going to almost claim child abuse. If you don't take your gifted child and put them in the STEM program and have them working on, C++ or whatever, okay, by the time they're 10, then you're hampering that child's ability to get a job in the future.
Right.
Well, you know what? I'm also helping that child be a well-rounded, happy human being. Because if I focus that child in the same way that the technology is, okay, at too early an age, something else in their brain is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And no, organized sports is not going to be the other option that you have to put them in.
Right.
There's got to be real world out there, and sports are not real world either.
No.
They got to be able to fall down. They've got to be able to skin their knees. They've got to be able to learn what dirt tastes like. And I mean, this sounds very, okay, boomer stuff. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, here's another good study I'm going to throw at you. The human brain is best able to multitask. There's really no such thing as multitasking. You can only do one at a time. But your switch time between tasks is at its lowest when you are in your 20s. So you have the illusion of being able to multitask.
Right.
Okay, better, up until you hit about 29 or 30. Which makes us completely worthless, except for the fact
I'm useless.
that, well, and before 20,
Right.
the brain cannot actually properly multitask. It can only monotask, which is why accident rates are so high for kids.
For kids, right.
They can't do two things at once.
One time.
Okay? Yep. They can't hold two sets of priorities simultaneously. But then when you're in your 20s, you're at your peak. But the trick is to this one. When you are not until you are 50 to 55 years old, do you begin to peak at your ability to synthesize data.
Ooh.
And understand all of the ramifications and how they
Is that why I
interplay.
feel like I got smarter when I started turning 50?
No, that was your traumatic brain injury.
Oh,
but other than
okay,
that,
got it. Too many hits to the head.
No, but the fact is, when you hit that stage, you've seen enough things
understand
happen that you start.
It makes sense.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, everything makes sense.
And they think half of you are conspiracy theorists, because you're actually seeing the pattern in things.
Exactly.
You're seeing how they interact. You're seeing how that law of unintended consequences will play out, and that's why your best leaders. I mean, it used to be you weren't allowed to be president until you were 35, and that was probably a pretty darn good thing.
Right.
It should probably be more like 45 or 55.
Right.
Honestly.
Because then you start seeing it all.
Because then you start to see how things interplay.
Right.
And interact. And again, you're not going to get it with a linear function video game.
Right.
Or anything you are controlling yourself on the internet. Those things are going to hamper you again. And can it be better exemplified? I'm going to wrap it back around again. Can it be better exemplified than everybody likes this? I know, because it's got 88,000 likes. So I'm going to go ahead and like it too, because it's cool.
Right, it's cool.
Because being cool is important. It strikes a dopamine, release. And I feel better now because I'm part of the cool kids, because I liked it too.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't really. We won't even talk about Star Wars.
Well, speaking about liking stuff, let's talk about some emails.
Emails and likes. One of the things that is
still a thing.
Email is way still a thing. It still
Okay, 'cause
gets
I
it still gets
that,
as much as 3 to 6 times the response rate of social media.
Oh.
But only if you do it.
Wow, I did not know that.
But only if you do it right.
Oh,
okay.
See, it's all about doing it the right way.
Now, and again, we're going to look at that trend. Remember when everybody would just buy an email list and spam everybody, and
I
then
done it. Constant contact. Let her go.
And then we had the anti-spam laws, the Canned Spam Act that came out, and suddenly if you had enough complaints against you, you were toasted.
Right.
Those were things responding to people scamming the system. Okay, spam doesn't rhyme with scam because it's a coincidence. But the fact is, building an organic email list is the best thing in the world you can do for your business. And the way to do that, I mean, we went out this weekend, we were doing a trade show, and the client I was there supporting needed, the basic rule of trade shows, as far as I'm concerned, is break even at the show, because the real goal is to gather the names and addresses and everything of interested people, actual organic leads.
Okay.
That's what you're really there for. Hopefully your sales will cover all your expenses.
Right.
But the goal is to build awareness of you and your product so that you can stay with them the other 11 and a half months out of the year. So what we did was we constructed a web page within their website, which was nothing but an email sign-up form. And it wasn't in the menu or anything. You wouldn't see it unless you knew where it was. But then it just sat there on. Now I have an iPad, okay, that is built into a keyboard, so it works like a laptop. But we had my smaller one set up. I have an iPod Mini or an iPad Mini that does the same thing. But we had the smaller one set up, and it just had the email login page.
I have that with we use MailChimp.
Yeah.
And you can put the app on there, and people can just give your username, or they can give your email.
They can walk up and just sign in, and
Yep.
now they're in your email list.
That's correct.
And now you own it. And so having these people come in and sign up, may have walked out with 10 sales, but came out with 40 emails,
Right.
genuinely given from people who care about what you have to
And
say.
what they want to see your stuff.
And they want to see your stuff.
That's awesome.
That is where you get your good response. So, but your emails have to be on brand. So build a template for your emails. And make sure you stick with that template every time you send an email. They know it's from you. They know it's legit. They recognize your brand. They know it is you on message.
You're building trust.
Okay, you're building trust with everyone. Make sure that you're using dynamic formatting. So that, because, there's been a 30% spike in the number of people opening emails on mobile devices. What a surprise. Okay,
Right,
it keeps jumping every year.
Yep.
Because the fact is, this is where people open emails now. And if you've
Right.
ever gotten an email from one of these old school marketers that the font is like, minuscule, you can't even read it. And so you turn your phone sideways and try to stretch it, and then you're doing this. Don't make it painful to read your email. Make sure it's dynamic. Make sure that what you have in there is exactly what they need to see, so that you can direct them. And then there is also a big spike in response. I think it's like 20 to 30% increase in opening if your two-line, okay, references the person receiving it by name. So, hey, Susan, here's that deal we were talking about.
Right.
Bam. Because they have personally integrated into your system, they have chosen to be in there, you're not being offensive when you use their first name. They're not going to get creeped out by it.
Right.
Because they've said, no, I asked Mary to send me information. And so it says, hey, Susan, here's the information. But the thing is, you don't have to sit there and send 500 emails individually. You just use the proper stuff, the proper software that then customizes every one of them because you have the first name of every person that's in your list.
Right. I have a question for you.
Yeah, go.
Are there spam bots that actually can use your name and do the same thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They will go out there. They will use your name and address in order to pilfer
Right.
your audience. And, I get them all the time from legit companies, but they're not legit.
Right.
Okay, they're complete spam, and often they are trying to get your login information or your ID. God, how many times in the last week have I tried to change my password on Instagram? Okay, it says log in here to to verify it, and you look at it, and you got to hunt. You go up to the return address because the return address will say Instagram security. You click on it, and it says Instagram security stuff like that. But actually, what it is that is a subdomain of .com Scooby-Doo, XYZ PQ,
Right.
at Asia.com or something like that. It's like, rah, it's all out there. But you really got to dig to make sure that is not a spam email. And it used to be really easy just to send everything to, like hoax or spam at the original sender. So if it was a fake one from Instagram, you could send it back to Instagram.
Got it.
So yes, you can get that, and they can make it look very real. But if your interior is set properly and you've got your standard format, your regular readers are going to be alerted that this ain't right. There's something wrong with this.
Right.
Now, also, there are some really cool tools out there after the fact, but really the content is the key. Talk with your audience. Don't talk to them. Don't talk at them. Talk with them. and make it a conversation. They are with you because they want a personal experience. They've met you in person. They want to do business with you. They're interested in what it is you have. They may not have had any of these. They may have signed up directly from your website, but they did that because they're interested in you.
Right.
They're interested in what it is you're selling or promoting or whatever it is you're talking about. And so by creating that conversational tone, you can do these things. Now, it doesn't take a lot of work to do this, because if you're doing it properly, you're spending maybe half hour to an hour a week on this entirely, and that's handling your social media, it's handling your email marketing, it's handling all those
So
things
next
because
week
it's all
you can come with
integrated.
an example of a well-done, constructed email?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I never give away my trade secrets.
Oh, God.
No.
Sorry,
But
everybody. I
you know,
tried.
well, maybe. One of the things that I really I find fascinating is the level of research that we can now do on our marketing. And I love MailChimp because they now allow A/B testing.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, split testing. So you can send 2 emails to your audience. Every other person will get the other email.
Oh, that's cool.
And it'll start tracking which one gets the better response for you. So the time of day is taken out, the weather that day, the day of the week, all those factors are removed. And they then see. And what's neat is if you hit a threshold whereby one is doing substantially better than the other,
You can switch them over?
no, you don't even have to. It'll
It
automatically
automatically
switch.
does it?
It'll go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's smart enough to
They
know.
are not going to waste your money by continuing to send out a lame email. And there are rules for how you do A/B split testing.
Okay.
Some people will just tweak an image, see which image does better. That's great, because you can do the same thing on Facebook too. You can split test there with your ads. But there's another school of thought that says no, do something radically different. Every fourth iteration you're doing, really shake it up, change it completely, try something really radically different, and you may see a massive increase or a massive drop-off. And if that's the case,
Got
because
it.
you could be sitting here going, oh, I'm trying to get, a 5% response, and I'm between 5.5, and then you try this radically different thing, and suddenly you're getting a 12% response.
Got it.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yep. All right, we got about 3 minutes, about 4 minutes left.
4.5.
So I was going to jump on, so I'm an audiophile. I love music. I love listening to my phone.
MP3?
MP3.
No, you said you're an audiophile.
Yeah.
See what I
yeah,
did there?
Yeah, audiophilia.
Sorry.
I still have records.
So do I.
I still have cassette tapes.
Yeah.
By the way, the Sony Walkman, they're going to re-release it, I think, in December.
What for? I still have mine.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Some of the kids are looking at it like, what do you do with this thing? Where does the CD go? Or where does the thumb drive go?
Yeah.
But so I saw this thing I did a little research on it the other day. I saw this commercial for Alexa,
Yeah.
right? And it's from Bose.
Mm-hmm.
So Bose now has a wireless Bluetooth headphones
Yep.
that have Alexa built in. It taps to your phone through the app. Right. Well, I mean,
We'll get there. Go
I
ahead.
like See, I love Dr. Bose. I think he's just a
Oh,
badass
the Bose sound
dude.
technology
And
is
his I've tried the Beats and all this kind of crap, and I just don't get the fullness of a Bose set of headphones.
Nope.
So Bose has got a new thing that you tap to the thing, and you can tell it and talk to it and whole 9 yards, which I think is really cool. I put a pair of these on the other day at the mall. Holy crap!
Really?
Oh.
It has sound deadening, right?
So yeah,
Yeah.
it is so amazing, and I didn't get to talk to Alexa because I didn't want to go through that at home.
Yeah.
But just the sound quality, and it was through Bluetooth, which really I don't like. I have had just different iterations of Bluetooth headphones, whether they be the in-ears, the full cup, the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards, and they've never sounded good. But they let me pair it with my phone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna. If anybody wants to send me a Christmas gift or just your cool tech box gift, I'll take a pair of these because I'll tell you, absolutely mind blowing, how good it sounded.
It's Bose.
It is.
I have Bose speakers on my desk for my, iMac, and the sound quality is just amazing.
If I can sit there and tell you if I do you can put me in a sound room, right? Whether you want to use a speaker or headphones, I can tell you the difference. If I can tell you if it's actual record playing,
Yep.
or if it's cassette, if it's 8-track, if it's mini disc.
Yeah.
I can tell you the difference, and I can tell you if it's an MP3. MP3 is such a squished sound. It's horrible. And that's all radio plays now. There's no more, they don't do any decks or anything like that. So you can tell the squished sound. But I put these Bose on, and even though it was an MP3 playing through Bluetooth, it was massively awesome.
It was rich.
Oh, it was. It was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to sound like, you know?
Now, if it can only fix the music
Well,
that they release as the actual album, when it really isn't the original album, they do that a lot with movie scores. And that's my area of audiophile expertise. And I can't stand it when I buy an album now and download it, and it's not the original music.
Drives me insane.
Especially when the reason they're doing that is to cut out the royalties to the orchestra.
I know.
And now it's all digitally produced.
Yep.
And that just slays me that the studios do that.
So we got about 20 seconds. If you've got any questions for us, if you've got any comments for us, text Shamans at webeamtv.com. You just send us a little email or hit us up on Facebook, and we will be glad to answer them or comment back. And we take the good with the bad. It doesn't matter. I want input. I want your input.
Yep.
If there's something that you want us to take a look at, again, text Shamans at webeamtv.com. And you know what? We're going to see everybody next Monday. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Show you really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.